I've treated you civility, mate. Why do you ask that question like that? I've been polite with you.
You are, but it's also hostile.
It would be nice if you returned it back to me.
Yeah, but you're threatening me.
Unfortunately, I've got no further to say.
So it is a cold, dull morning here in Ancoats in Manchester. We're going to walk around and see what we can find today, but first, because I'm an idiot and left my wallet in Sainsbury's last night, we're going to go and pick it up from the nice guys there who are looking after it for me. And I'm sure it will be, but we're going to make sure that my moolah is still in there. Okay, we've got the wallet and the moolah is inside. Now that we're heading into Piccadilly Gardens, the most wholesome place in Manchester. So we're going to do some video surveillance of the video surveillance. Mother. So we've got a lot of police activity here in the gardens. Got some mounted police. There's a lot of undercovers walking around as well, so I'm not quite sure what they're expecting.
A cold December morning in Manchester city centre sets the scene as an auditor steps out with a camera to observe the situation. Even before anything unfolds, a strong police presence is already visible, including mounted officers, uniformed units, and plainclothes officers moving discreetly through the crowd. With the atmosphere already tense before any interaction begins, it's clear the day could develop in an unexpected way.
Jesus, bloody MCPs.
What do you get the most results from, on like sort of comments from on your videos? What do people like to see the most?
Conflict.
Is that right?
You know, just be honest.
Between you and someone, or are you filming it?
Usually it's you know, if someone doesn't like me filming, then they'll usually come up to me and they'll say, you know, don't do that, or.
You're lost on the 1251.
You have a nice day,
Cool.
sir. I hope you find something interesting.
Anything going on, or?
We're doing something called Project Servator. Please take a flyer.
Servator, yeah.
Have you been Servatored before?
I've not been Servatored, but I filmed some Servators.
It's essentially a little bit of a high-profile presence. We've got some uniformed officers, we've got some plainclothes officers, we've got some officers with horses that are here somewhere.
Yeah, I noticed
just that little bit of sort of reassurance in the community.
Yeah.
Making sure everyone feels a little bit safer. Not to say that anything's going to go down imminently, but it's business as usual for us. We're unpredictable with where we go and where we deploy.
Yeah.
It's just a tactic that we're using at the minute, in particular lead up to Christmas.
Well, yeah, especially with the markets and everything
there's
around.
A lot going on.
A project enforcement officer quickly approaches, but the interaction that follows turns out to be surprisingly positive. Instead of tension or hostility, the exchange is calm and open, with both sides engaging in a straightforward discussion about the purpose of the operation. The officer clearly explains the approach in a composed manner, and the auditor replies just as respectfully. It shows that not every encounter needs to escalate, and this moment highlights a smooth and cooperative interaction.
So I'm looking for a suspect. Grey puffer jacket, black jeans. Got the undercover here.
Auditing, yeah?
Huh?
Do some auditing?
Not today.
No, just filming.
Just general filming, yeah.
Got anything you need, or?
No, not really.
No,
There's not really been anything today.
No,
It's been quite quiet so far, which I suppose is a good thing.
Yeah. All right, mate. See you in a bit.
Yeah, a slight problem in Manchester is a lot of them do actually know me, which is why I don't bother auditing up here. That, and generally they don't react up here.
The radio suddenly breaks the calm with a suspect alert describing someone in a gray puffer jacket and black jeans, instantly shifting the mood as plainclothes officers begin moving more deliberately through the area. Our auditor notices one of them weaving through the crowd, while the situation grows more focused and tense. Although recording in public is generally allowed, it's still unclear whether any resistance or challenges to filming will arise as events continue to unfold.
Nah. Theft. He's been stole some food from Greg's.
I don't want to get filmed. I get it, mate.
So he's saying he doesn't want to be filmed, and they're saying they don't want to be filmed, but it's a public space.
A nearby theft is now in progress, with food reportedly taken from a store as officers move in to respond. The individual involved objects to being filmed, and officers also reiterate that request. However, since this is a public area, there is generally no legal basis for forcing someone to stop recording. At this point, the key factor becomes how the situation is managed, as the tension in the area continues to rise.
Thanks. Yeah, don't block my camera, please.
Pardon?
Don't block me.
I'm asking what you want. We're dealing with something here.
I don't care what you're dealing with. Leave me alone. Back off.
I am leaving you alone. I'm just asking what you're interested in.
You're impeding my right back.
I'm not impeding anything.
Who are you?
I'm not impeding anything.
Show me your ID.
Pardon?
Show me your ID. What's your number?
I'm Sergeant 1884. I'm asking you what you're filming us for. That's all.
Stop acting like a dick.
Swear at me again, you'll be arrested for a public order offence. You understand?
You can't be offended. You're a policeman.
I can be offended, and I am offended.
Okay, so just to clarify my point here, I'm referencing some case law called Harvey v. Director of Public Prosecutions, where a guy was arrested for swearing at the police. He was found guilty, but the case was overturned by a judge who ruled that the police are unable to be offended by words which are commonplace, that includes swearing, regardless of whether they find them offensive or not. They are supposed to have a thick skin and rise above it and be able to deal with such a thing. I will put a link to this in the description in case you want to read this article yourself or look into it a bit more. I do go through this in a bit more depth later on with another sergeant from the team who is a lot more amenable and reasonable, and we have a bit of a discussion about it. So yeah, stay tuned, and we'll get into that in a second. But let's rewind a little bit.
A shift in tone occurs when a sergeant intervenes, stepping in front of the camera and questioning why the auditor is recording. The auditor reacts in frustration and is quickly warned about a potential arrest for a public order offense, with the sergeant claiming he feels offended. In response, the auditor refers to Harvey v. DPP, remaining composed while citing relevant case law, which adds a legal edge to the exchange. Tension builds as a second sergeant arrives, completely changing the dynamic. And what he says about his colleague's conduct is unexpectedly direct and critical.
Swear at me again, you'll be arrested for a public order offence, you understand?
You can't be offended, you're a policeman.
I can be offended, and I am offended.
You can't be.
You want to test it?
Well, it's not while we're in public, but let's go somewhere private. And then I'll swear.
Somewhere private?
Yeah, you can't be offended. Yeah, it's not your lane.
Excuse me, do you want to give me a little bit of dignity? It's private, this phone.
Yeah, it's a public space.
Yes,
Yeah,
but he
fine.
doesn't want to be filmed.
The confrontation replays and the sergeant doubles down, still insisting he's offended, still threatening arrest. But offence alone typically isn't enough to ground a public order charge, especially where courts have previously found that officers are expected to carry a higher threshold for such language. Standing firm and staying calm when someone in authority is pushing hard is genuinely not easy to do.
Public space.
All right, mate, you want to do what you want to do, that's fair enough. As long as you come no further, it's going to be cool in the gang, okay? So come no closer than that. If you want to do that there, not an issue, my mate, okay? Come any closer, there's going to be an issue.
Is there?
I'll treat you civility, mate. Why'd you ask that question like that? I've been polite with you.
You are, but it's
No,
also
so
hostile.
it would be nice if you returned it back to me.
Yeah,
mate,
but you're threatening me.
Unfortunately, I've got no further to say to you, okay?
Good. Don't speak to me then. Jesus. What's his version of being civil?
The confrontation is revisited as the sergeant continues insisting he feels offended and maintains the threat of arrest. However, simply taking offense is generally not enough on its own to justify a public order charge, particularly given that case law has often held that officers are expected to meet a higher threshold in such situations. Remaining calm under pressure like this is far from easy when authority is being asserted so firmly. The exchange continues in public space, with boundaries being set about where the auditor can stand while filming. Although the officer attempts to manage the interaction in a controlled way, the conversation remains tense as both sides question each other's tone and conduct, despite claims of politeness.